The very reason this shiny blue Duster is in the video today is because of the thought that Renault India has. The company thinks that diesel engines are dead because of the BS6 emission norms. Obviously, they had the widely renowned 1.5 K9K diesel engine. However, in its place, Renault now has a turbo petrol engine. Well, again, the price gap between the diesel and petrol these days is barely ₹2. So does Renault's claims of having a equally efficient turbo petrol engine with perhaps more power, more torque and as well as ease of driving actually replace the Duster turbo diesel? This is the all-new 1.3-litre turbo petrol which has been jointly developed by Mercedes-Benz, Nissan as well as Renault. Well, this is not the first time we are seeing the application of this engine. Nissan has it in the Kicks as well. This engine is the most powerful in its class and makes 156 horsepower as well as 254 Newton meter. It can be paired either with a 6-speed manual or a 7-step CVT. We have the CVT with us and Renault claims that it gives you around 16.42 kmpl mileage. If you opt for the manual, you get around 16.5 kmpl of mileage. Now that's enough of talking, let's do the driving now. Well, you don't require your foot to be on the brake to start this vehicle, which is a good thing again. Ooh, nice. I quite like the acceleration bit. I mean, I've just started and it is going like really smooth. The CVT upshifts at around 3500 RPM. And I've already reached 80 kph. Whoosh. That's a nice feeling. There is no, or rather negligible turbo lag that you feel, and driving this car around in the city should be really easy. I should be the one saying this because I just drove a Duster for around 1500 kilometers on a road trip a few days ago, and that was a diesel AMT. And you know very well how AMTs are. There is none of that characteristic in a CVT, and this one works really well. No head nods or pause or a slight pause between shifts. So this one is better in that aspect. It doesn't rev as cleanly as a turbo petrol engine should. Maybe I should try the manual mode here and see how it goes. Downshift. Okay, when you use the manual mode, go to 5000 RPM. That's a good bit. As you can notice, the NVH is also quite low in this car. So during overtaking maneuvers, all you have to do is gently prod the accelerator and the vehicle moves ahead with an urgency. If you are in the traffic, part throttle is all you need and this should get the vehicle moving. About the most important question that is on everyone's lips, what is the efficiency of the Duster Turbo Petrol? In the city, we got around 9.5 kmpl and that is with not so aggressive driving as I usually do, but this was with safe calculated. But if you think that this number is low, let me tell you that most of the turbo petrols usually have a low fuel efficiency in the city. It's out on the highway that they actually shine, and this Duster Turbo Petrol also does around 15 kmpl out on the highway. That's roughly the number I got when I did this 1500 kilometers with the Duster Diesel. Probably, like the Duster Diesel is a bit more efficient in the city, but I think that's a fair trade-off given that the current petrol as well as diesel prices are not so different from each other. Now let's talk about the ride quality. The ride quality of the Duster was always its talking point. It used to ride like a much bigger SUV. It used to smother potholes and all the ruts and everything. Now this Duster, which runs on a higher profile 17-inch tires, is again pleasantly the same in the ride quality department. There is this underlying firmness which you feel a bit of it, but again that gives this car a very good handling characteristic as well. On the straights, the vehicle stays planted even at triple digit speeds. in the city, it's very easy to place the Duster where you want it to be because of the good all-around visibility that this vehicle accords. The steering is light, yes, it is. So whenever you pass any pothole or any rut, the steering has this weird kickback feature which lets you know that, okay, well, I have just crossed a pothole, or I have crossed an aberration for that matter. It doesn't, when you are driving, the suspension doesn't let you know that, okay, there was a pothole or you just passed a speed breaker. It wouldn't let you know that. But what it does, what the steering definitely lets you know, it just has that slight jiggle thing that it does. Second thing is, when you brake, and the brakes are good for that matter, you have drums at the rear, discs in the front, but this is a turbo petrol, this is a much higher power rated vehicle. You should have given rear disc brakes for this model, and that would have helped differentiate it from the regular 1.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol that's on sale as well. So yes, small bits. The brakes have decent feedback, decent bite, but then again rear discs would have enhanced the experience, and overall would have given a nicer experience to the customer who's buying this vehicle. Third is, when you brake hard, the seat rocks a bit. That is like, again, something which was there right from the first Duster that was in India. And again, the Duster has a 205 mm ground clearance. That's more than enough for our roads, and especially the conditions that we live in these days. Definitely it is. No issues with that, even with a full house. This is one tough vehicle, and the plastics all around are also a bit on the harder side. You immediately feel that yes, everything is glued, everything is put together very well. So in short, the Duster has got the basics just right. Well, unfortunately, nothing much more than what was there in the 2019 version. You have this blue stitching on the seats that are being provided in the Duster Turbo. You have a cabin remote pre-cooling function, which unfortunately is a bit of a glitch. It uses a key fob based function that you have to keep on held when you're outside the car, and it's supposed to start the car and cool the cabin, which unfortunately during the entire time of the test we've not been able to replicate. Again, rivals use a smartphone based system through which you can actually activate or pre-cool or start the vehicle, which unfortunately Renault doesn't as of now. Again, there is this new start-stop function which has been given in the Duster Turbo. It replaces the Eco button that was there in the Duster Diesel previously. So this start-stop button is again unintrusive, and it works seamlessly. In this automatic, when you put it into the park mode, the system just gets activated. But unfortunately, it also cuts off the aircon control, wherein the compressor just goes out. In this sweltering heat, that's a bit of a bother. As for the exterior, you get these red inserts in the grille as well as on the 17-inch alloy wheels. There are also projector headlights with LED DRLs. There's also a turbo badge at the rear. Well, a lot to be specific. There is no newness that you usually associate with a new car or a new vehicle in this segment. It's essentially the same layout that we have been seeing from 2013, 2015. Even with the facelift, nothing much had changed. So modern bits that you usually associate with a car in this segment, like rear AC vents or storage spaces, are missing from the Duster. Even wireless charging, cooled seats, auto dimming IRVM, and even auto closing mirrors or connected car is also absent. You don't even get auto headlights or wiper for that matter. I'll say it's a missed opportunity. Even the driver seat height adjust is a bit awkward, wherein you need to get out of the car to adjust the seat. Even the reverse camera here doesn't have grid lines that move according to the way the steering does. There are 5 variants of this Duster Turbo Petrol. 3 are in manual and 2 are in automatic. We are driving the top spec RXZ automatic right now. Well, again, the difference between the price of a Duster Turbo Petrol as well as automatic is 1.60 lakh. That's a lot to pay for a CVT, especially when you get only hill hold assist and electronic stability program with the automatic. If you look at other cars in this segment like the Seltos or the Creta, they have more creature comforts. But again, the price difference between the Duster and the Seltos or a Creta is much more. with both the Koreans being on the higher side of things. If you are someone who's old school and prefers a proper SUV in this price range, the Duster is the car to go for. The turbo petrol effectively replaces the diesel in a better fashion while offering more refinement with slightly less fuel efficiency. However, you wouldn't be left wanting for more with this particular engine. If you are someone who wants more creature comforts, then you should be looking at either a Hyundai or a Kia showroom. As far as the Duster Turbo Petrol is concerned, I would say this is an opportunity which has been missed by Renault. They could have added more features and made this car more relatable in today's terms.